Hello again, and welcome back to another edition of The Wiccan Conservative. Today's video is going to be a very special video to me. On your screen, you will see my woman crush every day, KrisAnne Hall. She runs a constitutional education program to educate the American people about their liberty and the laws of the Constitution in America. She lives by a very important motto: liberty over security, principle over party, and truth over your favorite personality. Now, upon hearing those words, you probably just hear them, but it is a completely different type of understanding to grasp what these phrases mean in application. The first phrase is probably the most popular phrase: essential liberty over temporary safety. We all understand in the common context of those words what that means. We should be free instead of safe. But what does that actually mean? When you put this idea into application, what does it look like? Well, considering the atmosphere of the American people concerning crime, gun laws, and the war on drugs, we tend to think of ourselves needing safety over the liberty of those we may not agree with. The argument in the country at the moment is about gun laws and gun rights. The claim of the New Mexico governor is that we should all be guaranteed safety in this country. But that is completely contrary to what the Constitution actually grants us. And that is essential liberty over that safety. Now, this is where the idea gets very twisted, because they will appeal to your general emotion of wanting to be safe over the idea that you should be free. So how do these two ideas coexist with each other to create a right to the people to be free, and then in turn create the ability of the people to protect themselves? We need look no further than the Second Amendment. In the pursuit of freedom, the founding fathers also guaranteed your right to protect your own safety. The biggest argument against what the New Mexico governor has done in response to guns and gun violence has been when the people need help, the police are minutes away. And this is where we really and truly see the essential liberty over a temporary safety argument succeed. In these instances, will we have people who will not be safe and who may end up in unsafe environments? Yes. The idea is that you should have the liberty to end up in those situations and be able to protect yourself in those instances. When the freedom of the people overrides the arching idea of safety of the people, we can live in a more free society, and you don't have to worry so much about your safety because you know that you are free to protect yourself. Next up is principle over party. We struggle a lot with this concept, especially in the current political landscape that we are all navigating through. It is extremely difficult to stand on your principle in the face of a mob, especially people whom you agree with. This, I believe, is one of the most difficult tests of being able to secure your own liberty and educate others about their rights. I may not agree with what you say, but I will fight to the death for your right to say it. These are words we have said and we have heard, but do we really understand what that means? I believe that that means even in the face of people who are objectively wrong and objectively moving in a mob format, that to be a free individual and a principled constitutionalist, you must stand in the principle of the United States instead of the party of the United States. That means that sometimes you may find yourself in a very small minority, and it may feel overwhelming, but to stick to your principles and lead by example is the epitome of what our natural rights are supposed to be about. You should be comfortable enough and free enough in this country to stand on principle and not be persuaded by mob rule, mob mentality, or bullish tactics. If you only get your education about your rights through your party, then you will lack principle. If you do not rationalize the construction of the Constitution and what the application actually looks like for every American in the country, then you are doing a great disservice to the natural law and the natural rights guaranteed to a free individual in the nation. And if you start on a shaky foundation, then your principles will not be able to be built upon, and people will be able to knock over whatever structure you build upon them. Which leads us to our last principle: truth over your favorite personality. Another tough principle to live by. We just went over how running with the mob and a party can trample over your sovereign identity as an American citizen and lead you down a false premise to violate other Americans' rights. But this part goes beyond just party lines. These are the people that are in your inner circle that will disagree with you, even though you disagree or may have unpopular opinions. As long as they are based in truth and principle, you cannot back down from them. Not for the sake of being a contrarian, but for the sake of liberty and freedom for all. We've all heard this saying: most people don't really want the truth. They just want constant reassurance that what they believe is the truth. We can again understand that that is typically how most people will operate, as long as they fit into the crowd and they aren't causing waves. They're able to live their lives in a relatively free manner and a relatively unbridled fashion. They will go along with what they are told the system is, or it should be, or this is just the way it works. And this is how we end up violating the most American rights in the country. We allow ourselves to go along to get along. We allow ourselves to buy into institutions thinking that we, as single, independent, sovereign individuals, will not be able to make an impact or change the enormous system that has been built against us. But that could not be further from the truth when you live by the principle of speaking truth over your favorite personality. Now, I'm not telling you to go have deep arguments or get into a screaming match with your spouse, but we can continue to build platforms and speak the truth of the Constitution, independent sovereignty for American people, and what that actually looks like in practical application in real world instances when you come together and discuss the founding principles of the Constitution of the United States of America. These documents are some of the most important that have ever been written in human history. Not only are they fresh and new for our country, they are based upon known traditions and principles throughout human history. This isn't something that was just constructed by random individuals to create the birth of a new country for them to control. This was a brand new way of thinking that we never fully instituted or grasped on a nationwide scale due to the limitations in technology and education throughout our history. In this day and age, we have a unique opportunity to revisit these values and attempt to reinstitute a constitutional republic that is beyond the scope of anything that anyone has ever seen in human history. These are the reasons why I go to Liberty First University. These are the reasons why I listen to KrisAnne Hall teach and talk and speak and motivate and educate the American people about their rights and liberties granted to them by their creators and solidified in the Constitution of the United States of America. I will be leaving links to KrisAnne's website, her Rumble page, and a little bio in the description box. And I hope that you take advantage of going to some of her classes and free online materials. On that note, I will catch you guys on the next one.